So I can't expect the best standard, the best experience when I'm keeping myself in situations that are no longer good for me. Hey guys, these are the 5 things that I am no longer doing in order to live my best life. So if you want to hear more and you like these kinds of videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. The first is having high expectations and low value situations. And this can stem from any kind of situation, whether it's like dating, whether it's work. I can say that I am someone who does have high standards, but every now and then, which is pretty common as humans, you find yourself in low value situations because either you're bored, you are just craving some attention. I'm really just reading myself to filth right now. Insecurities, maybe that imposter syndrome is kicking in. Maybe you're having a bit of scarcity mindset where you feel like there's nothing better. So you just find yourself in low value situations that you know are not good for you in the long run, but in the moment it feels good. Even though you know you deserve and you want better for yourself, but just because the temporary feeling is just so intoxicating in the moment, you just really don't care about the long-term repercussions of being in that situation. When I, for example, find myself going to the club, I used to go out so much when I first moved to DC when I was younger, as I should. Like, I'm in a new city, trying to meet friends, trying to have fun, having a good time, and I would go out all the time. I would have a great time no matter what the situation was, no matter what the vibe was, even if like the DJ was bad, I would make the best of the situation. Now that I'm older and my friends want to go to those same clubs that we used to go to, I would find myself in a pattern of going out with them and going to these places knowing that I would probably not have the best time and I would want to go to a different spot. And it's like, why do I keep putting myself in these situations that are low value? I've outgrown them. When you are in situations that you've outgrown, your body is literally telling you that you do not need to be here. Maybe it's memories, reminiscing, wanting to be with your friends and they want to go to those places. You find yourself in those situations, but you aren't having the best time and you feel like you're wasting your time. So that's just one example that has come up a lot. And so now I don't. When was the last time I went to the club? I'm not saying I don't like to go out. I love to go out, but I go to different kinds of experiences. I love going to DJ sets. I love going to house music events. I go to a little bit of raves. I love going to a bar. I love going to just curated events that I know will be memorable. Even if I go by myself, I know I'm going to have a good time over going to the club. There are certain types of clubs that I know I just don't want to be in. I know I'm not going to have a good time. That low value situation was me just outgrowing that kind of experience that I would have a lot back in the day. Like, I would always go out, but now that I've gotten older and I know the kind of experiences that I want, I don't really like going to those places anymore. And so I can't expect the best standard, the best experience when I'm keeping myself in situations that are no longer good for me. And as I've gotten older, I want to be around people that I look up to, people that I get inspired by, people that I'm motivated by, people that I want to support. What you need to discern, and what I have had to discern, is whether those situations and those people that I've surrounded myself with, whether they are now situations that were maybe negative and that I had to outgrow, or just growing pains. If it's more of a negative situation, I've learned I had to cut those people off. I have to take a step back. I can't be around it because it'd be stressing me out and my emotions out of whack. No. But if it's growing pains where you've just outgrown the friendship and it's nothing negative, I don't necessarily cut those people off. It's just a reassessment of how I associate with them. So making sure I don't have high expectations when I'm in low value situations, because I'm not gonna get those expectations met, and I can't be upset at the situation. I can only be upset at myself for keeping myself in that situation. Instant gratification, oh my God. When I tell you, I need to leave that back in 2023. Like, I just think it's the way that our life has moved now when it comes to technology, when it comes to seeing people go viral overnight. We're just so used to seeing people get something so quickly, seeing people achieve something so quickly. We're so used to seeing that perception, when in reality, that is not the case. Some people are just quite lucky. And some people, oftentimes, they have to work hard and they have to be patient to see their success. From the perception that we see, we may think like, oh wow, these people have blown up overnight. But no, like, a lot of people have put in the work and they've been consistent and persistent and patient. And yes, like I said, there are people who are lucky and who hit virality overnight, but like, is it long-term virality? That's what you have to also think about, and what I think about as well. You can't expect instant success or instant gratification all the time. Like, that's just not how life works. You can't always have dopamine rush. You have to come down at some point to balance your body out, whether it's within content creation, whether it's within friendships, whether it's in relationships, you're not always going to get that instant gratification literally once you start doing something. No, you're going to have to put in the work, be patient. Patience is such a virtue and something that I think a lot of us have lacked, and I speak for myself because of, like I said, the way our society is right now. It just seems like everything is so quick, fast money, fast success, quick success. But what we should really appreciate is that long-term work ethic, because that is a lot more precious and something you can't really teach. It's just something you have to figure that out within yourself, whether that's through meditation or whether that's through journaling or some kind of spiritual practice, or just sitting with yourself and your thoughts so that you can learn how to process and be okay with stillness and be okay with the journey that it takes, so that you don't always feel like you need to have that instant gratification right then and right now. That is something I am definitely leaving behind. I need to stop expecting instant gratification because that's just not attainable or realistic. So I kind of already mentioned this in the first point. I have to put a whole section for it. Stay in places that I've outgrown. You cannot keep yourself in places where you've outgrown. That is just a way for your fear to sit in and keep you from growing. When you stay in places that you've outgrown, it's because you're scared of what's next, or you're scared of the unknown because you're so used to being comfortable in these situations. You don't want to have that risk of messing up or that risk of not doing well because you took a leap forward. However, in order to grow, you have to take leaps. And you have to jump into the unknown because that's the only way you can move forward. When you think about life, like, you don't know the next step forward. As much as we try to plan things out, and we can plan things out as much as we can, we don't know what life has for us because we're not really writing out our life story. And so when you stay in places where you've outgrown, you're just hindering yourself and keeping yourself from really becoming your true self. That's what I've told myself and what I've had to realize when I've stayed too long in situations that I've outgrown, whether it's around people, whether it's jobs, whether it's even like where you've lived. Making sure you're shifting the way your body or your mind wants to shift. If you always have these thoughts that you can see yourself in a different place, maybe you should indulge in those thoughts and find yourself in different situations in a different place. That's why I always try to like challenge myself as best as I can. It's scary, but life is all about outgrowing things. When you think about like a plant, for example, plants are always growing and growing and growing and getting big, and they outgrow the little seedling that they were. And it doesn't do those people any good or that job any good if you're staying in these situations just to appease them or just to sedate your fear. It doesn't do them any good because now they are kind of stuck in your situation and they are not able to grow themselves. Procrastination, I think this is a thing I say every year. It is such a tricky thing to let go of. Once you've procrastinated once, it is just so easy to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And how I think I can let go of procrastination is by, one, overcoming perfectionism. Especially when you're doing things that have your face to it, it's really hard to let go of perfectionism because it's like, you are the face, you are what people see. And so if you make one mistake, then that's all people remember you as. That's the narrative that surrounds you. In ways that I've tried to overcome perfectionism, just realizing that, one, if I make a mistake, it's okay. I can learn from that mistake. Just realizing that's not the end of the world if I make one mistake. And realizing that I'm always going to be iterating and growing. If something doesn't look as perfect as I want it to be, as long as it meets the mark and it's something that I feel totally comfortable sharing, resembles like how I think and how I create, it's totally fine. It doesn't have to be the most perfect thing ever. As long as it reflects who I am, then it's fine. Always trying to like soothe my inner child in a way, soothe my negative thoughts when it comes to perfectionism is how I've been taking steps to overcome it. I will say it's gonna take me a while, but progress is happening. Being lazy is also something you need to get over when it comes to letting go of procrastination. There's a difference between being lazy and resting. I know when I'm being lazy. My mind is like literally yelling at me like, hey, you are just avoiding all of your problems right now. But my body's like, I'm very comfortable. I'm not tired, but I'm comfortable and I don't feel like dealing with any issues right now. If I'm resting, if I'm chilling and relaxing, yes, totally fine. But if I'm intentionally being lazy because I don't want to do the hard work of editing a YouTube video, for example, that's a problem. And I have to push myself out of that mindset. It has come with time, but now like my body kind of triggers me out of being lazy. Maybe I'm watching TV too much. I will literally start to feel bored from what I'm watching and I'm not finding anything interesting to watch. So then I'm like, okay, time for me to do something else productive. So my body has now tricked me into being a hard worker. Just things that you can do proactively, creating to-do lists, creating a plan. I've really resorted now to writing out my to-do list instead of having it on my computer, and that has been quite helpful in a way. I think there's just something about writing things down, like you've committed to the action, so now you have to get it done. And it's just satisfying checking things off. So having your to-do list can also be helpful as well when it comes to overcoming being lazy. Finally, overcoming fear. Fear is so linked to procrastination. When you're scared, you avoid the situation. You don't want to be anywhere near that because of that fear of making a mistake, a fear of failure, a fear of trying something new and having to work your brain and really challenge yourself. Allowing yourself to take risks is a key way to get over that fear. Realizing that you have to always challenge yourself and challenge your mind to keep it working, to help yourself become smarter and more efficient and educated can help you overcome that fear. Reframing the fear into, oh, this is a challenge that I can take on. That can help you reframe the fear and unlock that power and potential to take on new challenges and to overcome that procrastination. And finally, letting myself go. A lot of times this year I have let myself go because frankly, I was a little tired. I was a little busy or being lazy, procrastinating, not keeping up with a self-care routine, not taking care of my weekly maintenance. And what I've learned from those situations is that having a system in place can help you not let yourself go and help you feel like your best self all the time. I always want to look and feel my best self, and that is internal and external, mental and emotional. I have to make sure like my full self feels great so that I can look outwardly and present that I am looking great and feeling great. When it comes to my hair, for example, I think that's a big place where I kind of let myself go. Making sure I'm doing hairstyles that will last me a week instead of doing hairstyles that'll only last me 2 days, because I already know like during the week when it comes to going into the office, when it comes to balancing like all the things that I'm doing, it's gonna be really hard for me to take care of my hair. And so if I'm doing a hairstyle that only lasts 2 days, my hair is gonna be a bird's nest, unfortunately. Making sure I'm doing hairstyles that work for me, making sure I'm wearing outfits that work for me, making sure I have a ton of basics when it comes to outfits, because it's so much easier to create an outfit when you're in a rush, when you have a ton of basics and you can mix and match things. Keeping my self-care items, so my makeup, my perfume, my skincare, keeping that manageable. I am not the kind of person to have like 50 different perfumes. Absolutely not. I think I have like 8 perfumes right now, and I just switch between them until I run out, and then I buy more. And then when it comes to like my skincare, I've gotten it down to like a good manageable amount so that I can continuously and consistently do my skincare. I have a system in place where if say I'm out late and I come back late and I don't want to do my full skincare because I'm tired, instead of doing my full skincare, I have my Panoxyl face wash that I'll just use because that literally is like my full skincare in one. It just cuts out all of the bacteria and acne, and we love Panoxyl over here. And of course, this also is key for when you're working out and incorporating fitness and healthy eating into your life. Having a meal plan or planning out your groceries. And then when it comes to workouts, planning out your workouts, having them listed out in your notes if you're going to the gym and doing your own workouts, or making sure you have your classes already bought in advance if you're doing classes. So I have to just make sure next year that I just keep up the systems that I know work for me so that I can always feel my best and look my best without taking too much time out of my day. So those are the things that I am not doing anymore in order to live my best life. Let me know what you think, and if you have any ideas of things that you are no longer doing to live your best life, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in my next one.